Hello, this is a submission video slash category demonstration for minimum items glitchless, also just known as low percent glitchless. Through the semi-recent, it's a little bit old news now, but through the semi-recent legalization of tilt and discovery of the ability to skip Golzuna, the minimum items, no major glitches category has become a little bit different than what it was originally. You can skip a lot more, and you no longer do jumpless and flashless. Which jumpless, flashless, to quickly explain, refers to two different items in the game: the flash shift and well, either the spin boost or the space jump, which are your jump upgrades. Those are the two main movement upgrades that really transform how you navigate through the world, and they also make certain bosses a fair bit easier. This is also a little bit of a D-Rust run. But yeah. For a long time, minimum items, no major glitches, involved skipping both the flash shift and the jump upgrades, but no longer. And since that was the main thing I cared about with this category, I've decided that I'm going to start running glitchless minimum items. Which, glitchless, there's not that many items you can skip. Mainly, if I'm understanding correctly, it should just be the jump upgrades, flash shift, and pulse radar. Because the other ones that you used to be able to skip with no major glitches in the classic route is ice missiles, and there's simply no way to skip ice missiles in glitchless. So we're going to be getting the ice missile upgrade. Anyway, so we're making our way through Altaria, now that I've explained, maybe a little bit over-explained the category. We're going to do a little trick there. Basically, whenever you slide off of a ledge, you get Coyote time, which is when you can jump in midair after you're leaving a platform, basically. That refers to Wile E. Coyote. And by doing that, we're able to get onto that ledge a little bit faster than waiting for the water to drain. And since this is glitchless, we can't do Emmy Bump, which if you don't know what that is, don't worry about it. But basically, we're going to need to wait for the Emmy to catch up to us before we can leave. And then we leave. We're going to be talking to Adam here. Even in glitchless, we don't actually have to talk to Adam all that many times, because we'll be doing Adam skip in Cataris, which is the second area. But for now, we're going to have to talk to Adam a few times in Altaria as we make our way through the loops that get us our first 3 items. First one that we're on our way to is going to be the Charge Beam. I'm going to do a little bit of a... Oop, did not mean to do that, but it actually worked out for us because we got a favorable pattern with the Emmy. Typically, you want to, like, do a coyote jump to get onto the top platform there. You're also going to see me jump a lot in water. The point of the jumping is that in... Oops. While you're in the water, walking is ever so slightly faster than, slightly so slower than falling. So you want to do these tiny little baby jumps over and over again in the water to just very slightly increase your speed. Once we have the morph ball, it's actually going to be a little bit faster to jump in morph ball. I think that's because you get to you get to maximum falling speed faster with the morph ball, but I don't know. There we go. I'm really glad I got that trick, because like I said, this is a bit of a D-Rust run. Basically, the way that that worked is that when you melee, you get to respin a little bit faster after hitting the little slope there in the corner, so you're able to respin and get to a higher ledge than you're normally able to get to. Now we have Charge Beam. Charge Beam has a few little quirks to it. Obviously, you can hold the beam and then release it, and you'll get a Charge Beam, but in addition, if you do a spin jump or a turnaround, like that, you can release the charge beam a little bit early and still get the charge. Oh, I tried to do a quick charge there to kill the Musby, which is slightly faster than just running into it. Not having a good time on the climb. This is gonna be a really interesting. It's gonna be really interesting to see how I do once I actually get into the hard parts of this run. Oop. So we are on our way to the spider magnet, kind of. First, we're going to have to. Oh, okay, this is annoying. This is the like not favorable spawn for the Emmy, but that's okay. We're just able to do a jump over it, and then, with the exception of the first chase, the Emmys lose position, or like they lose sight of Samus pretty quickly. So as long as you get out of their sight, they tend to leave you alone for the most part. That was the what we call the Jaffe room, named after a famous God of War developer. I actually forgot his name. I think it's Alex Jaffe. Is it David Jaffe? It might be Alex David or David Alex. God, I don't know anything. Anyway, so we're opening these lava switches. They redirect the lava in the level. These are mostly used in Artaria and Cataris. We won't be seeing a ton of them throughout the run. But basically, the lava, wherever it redirects, that like changes what's being powered. So sometimes redirecting lava will close one gate but open another. And then let me see if I can do the optimal movement here. Not quite, but it was alright. I'm going to shoot the top right door there before I leave, because for some reason it locks again. And you'll have to do, like, you have to see the slow opening animation. Yeah. So you can see that it did the slow opening animation. So by shooting it now, I can skip that slow open later. But yeah, you can see, like, the lava switches, they lead to these doors that have their, like, shutters open. And now we're going to see the first of several of the central unit fights. These are pretty simple. You just kind of pelt it with missiles until the armor breaks, and then you just pelt it with normal shots until the brain dies. So you can see here that the Omega stream looks a little bit weird while I'm shooting. I'm using the turbo button to release the first shot 20 times per second instead of just firing it normally. Not only does this allow you to get more shots in, because it's 20, and the default fire rate if you just hold the button is 15, but the first shot of the Omega stream is faster, is stronger than any of the shots that come after. So not only are you doing more shots, but those shots are stronger. And now we have Spider Magnet. This is our second major upgrade. This is going to allow us to climb on blue walls. A fun little thing about that is that when you jump off of a blue wall, you can instantly turn around and grab onto the same wall, like so. Doing a wall jump off of a wall is you're usually not able to turn around instantly. There's a little trick that we'll be showing off later about how you can get extra height, but it's going to be like a bit of a weird exploit rather than intended mechanics. I wouldn't call it a glitch, though, because this is glitchless, of course. Anyway, so third boss, this is Forpius. We have 30 missiles because we started on rookie mode, and so if I can get this phase transition here, by killing him when he's spitting up, we force his head to stay down during phase 2, and so that allows me to fire at him very, very consistently. Normally it's quite hard to get him to phase transition while he's invisible because you miss a lot of shots because his head moves around a lot and it's hard to tell where he is. But when his head is locked down, it becomes much easier. And we're gonna have to, yep, so you see that door's already open for me. And now, there's going to be one last trick in this area. It's called, Zip Skip. Oh. Yeah, okay. I messed it up. So we're going to just, take the zip line the normal way. Basically what I wanted to do was I was trying to manipulate, these little bat enemies here to be in such a way that it would, knock me over onto this ledge. And I'm going to take this melee right here, just because you take some damage through the fire, and a lot of the enemies in Cataris do a fair bit more damage to you than the enemies in Artaria. So, by taking that melee, I get to heal myself to full, and I don't have to be quite so careful in Cataris. Because we're going to be falling through quite a bit of fire, and then there's this one enemy that does a lot of damage on contact that's quite difficult to avoid while going fast. So I'd rather just not worry about it. I'll take like the half second it takes to melee that bat. We were playing on Switch 1, which has slightly longer load times compared to Switch 2. So, when I submit this to runs, I'll make sure to tell them that, yeah, that's the enemy that's quite difficult to avoid. I'll make sure to tell them that those are good times for donations, I guess. This is going to be the last Adam that we talk to. The next Adam that we would talk to, we're going to skip through some very weird movement. And when you skip one Adam in like the sequence of intended Adams that you talked to, it doesn't activate any of the other Adams in the game, so like none of the Adams from this point forward are going to lock us into the room. And so we're just going to be able to, like, once we skip one, we're able to just walk through every Adam that comes after. Now here is... Okay. I tried. There's another, like, D-boost you can do there. It's called the Super Boost, or the 5 Alpha Boost, because it was found by 5 Alpha Man. Or maybe it was just popularized, I'm not sure. That little, like, get around that corner, by the way, that was a lot harder than it looked. It's, like, famous for just messing people up and causing them to, like, randomly lose a few seconds during a run. You might have pinged that I talked about finding or using a turbo button earlier. The Metroid Dread speedrun has us fight a lot of bosses who can take damage from uncharged beam shots. And when that is the optimal, or because of the fact that the game has no cap on fire rate, that becomes the optimal damage for quite a few fights, especially towards the end of the game. And so it was determined fairly early on that we would allow a turbo controller so that people could keep playing for longer periods of time without causing like soreness in the muscles or hand pain. This has not been an uncontroversial policy, but it is what it is, and I'm going to be taking full advantage of it because I personally have a hand condition that makes it so that I either cramp up or just get joint pain if I play too long, too intensely, so the mashing certainly doesn't help with that. And then we're going to try and kill all these enemies here so that we can take this elevator here. As soon as I see the bottom of that, like, center magnet wall, I jump up so that I can get to it a little bit earlier. You also saw me shoot one of the doors on my way here, like the door to the south. That's because it's another slow open door. Whenever you're passing by a slow open door that you need to open, or that you need to go through later, it's better to hit it as early as possible so that you don't need to wait for it to open. And now here comes the atom skip tech. We'll see how quickly I can get this, because I have not done this in quite a few months. Maybe? No. There we go. Honestly, not as bad as I was thinking. That is 4 frame-perfect wall jumps and 1... but you can buffer the wall jump, so it's not quite so bad. But then it's also 1 frame-perfect melee, which you can't buffer. So, all in all, it's not as bad as quintuple frame-perfect makes it sound, but it is still quite difficult. And so, by doing that, not only do we, like, save time by not having to, like, go around a whole loop in Cataris, but, like I said before, we're also skipping Adam, which will allow us to skip talking to Adam later in the game. All in all, that trick, if you get it first try, saves, like, 3 minutes and, like, 15 seconds or so. I don't remember the exact timing, but it's on the order of 3 minutes. And then you can see I'm a little bit red on health, so I'm going to hold the charge shot so that I can... kill the enemy as I'm spin jumping through them. We call that the pseudo screw. I think it's just called the charge beam attack officially. And then we're going to try and do a little trick here. Perfect. Okay. I love that movement. That's like one of my favorite, like, tiny little optimizations in the game. But yeah, we're pretty much on our way out of Cataris. I do this little spin kick there because it gets you to skip a ledge while falling the entire time. And here comes the hardest thing in the game, is remembering not to grab that energy tank. Because in every category except for low percent, you always get that E-tank because it's optimal to have some extra health so that you can just, like, take a little bit of damage without needing to, like, stop to avoid. It's just better for DPS to be able to tank some hits on some bosses. But for low percent, obviously, you don't want to collect any E-tanks. So we're going to be getting no E-tanks, no missile upgrades, and obviously, like I said before, skipping flash, shift, space jump, spin boost, and pulse radar. Pulse radar is an item that we skip in, like, every category. I think there's, like, some, like, 100% categories where it's optimal to, like, get it just because it's, like, it's faster to go through that room than avoid it. But in any percent, low percent, I think all bosses, most categories you don't get pulse radar anyway, because the only use of pulse radar is to reveal hidden blocks that you can destroy, and obviously if you're speedrunning this game, you already know where all of the relevant blocks are, so it doesn't really matter. But now we're in Dairon. We're here to get one item, and that is Wide Beam. Wide Beam will triple our DPS as well as allow us to open up a door, which will allow us to fight the Morph Ball enemy. And we're getting into the part of the game where one bump by the wrong enemy will kill us. So I'm going to try and be really careful here. Whoop. There we go. The bats in that room are especially annoying because if you just, like, mess up your movement just a tiny bit, then they're in the wrong position and they just bump into you. Sometimes they attack you, and like I said, things are starting to get a little more deadly with our 1 E-tank and no suit upgrade. And there's Wide Beam. So, Now that we have our white beam, we're just going to be going out the same way we came, pretty much. There is a damage boost. I don't remember if you can take it on low percent, actually, so I'm going to just go ahead and not try it, but I'll call it out when it's here. That guy, the guy I just killed, you can jump over him and like hold aim and he'll bump you over to the left, and it gives you a nice little speed boost. But yeah, I don't remember if you can survive that. And then here comes boom. I love that. Oh, I actually meleeed too early. That's interesting. I've never done that before. Yeah, so you may have noticed that I am sliding off of ledges whenever I'm traveling off of them. Occasionally, I'll do a melee instead of a slide. Typically, Samus's fastest movement is just walking, or like, you know, running. So she doesn't want to be in the air. She wants to be in the air as little as possible. So by sliding off of a ledge, you start moving down as you're moving right, and so you get to the ground a little bit faster when you land, and so that's a little bit faster. When we melee off of a ledge, it's usually so that we can skip another ledge so that she doesn't like fall a little bit, stop falling, and then fall a little bit more. We want to just like fall the entire way. And so when I melee off of a ledge, that's usually what I'm doing. The melees are a nice little burst of speed, but they have like a... Sorry. Yeah, melees are a nice little burst of speed, but unfortunately they also have like a little like cooldown. And then we're gonna do this. And because of the cooldown, it's not fast to just like spam as basic movement, but to dodge ledges, it's good. And then we're going to get right up in the enemy's face here. And by carefully aiming so that we get as many shots as possible while it's crawling up towards us, we can shoot it while it's right up in our face. That looks a lot scarier than it is. As long as you move with confidence, just walking to the left, sliding under, and then you make sure that you just aim down a little bit so that you're shooting it as soon as it starts crawling at you, then it's generally going to go fine. And there's Morph Ball. 20 minutes into the run, 22 minutes or so. That is a fair bit later than when you get Morph Ball in most other Metroid games. Usually it's like one of the first items. So some things about the Morph Ball. It's slower than sliding, so typically whenever we need to like go through a tunnel or whatever, we're going to slide into it instead of morphing and then rolling through it. However, it also falls faster. Oh, I messed up. It falls a little bit faster than when Samus is in her like human form. So whenever we have to fall a great distance, we're going to be going into the Morph Ball form. You'll see that a little bit in Artaria after we get the Varia suit, which we're gonna go get the Varia suit, by the way. The only reason why we need Varia suit is because this game does heated damage a little bit differently than other Metroid games. Like if you've seen Super Metroid, you might be used to like it slowly eating away your health in like a linear fashion. In this game, it's not linear. I don't know if it's exponential exactly, but it grows over time. So, like, the first tick of damage will be, like, 1 HP, and then the second tick will be, like, 4 HP. And then it'll just, like, keep going until eventually it's dealing, like, your entire health bar in 1 tick. So, even if you can get consistent healing as you're navigating through a heat room, it's eventually going to be doing so much damage in 1 tick that it's not going to be worth it. Or, like, it's not going to be possible to get through it. So because of that, we absolutely need the Varia suit. Right there, I showed off a nice little, another nice little thing. Whenever you're holding Charge Shot, if you morph while you're holding Charge, then you will release the charge shot as you morph. And we do that in a few places just to, like, be able to morph and shoot at the same time. It also has some nuances with the speed booster, which I will explain when we get there. Alrighty. That whole section right there, it's another one where, like, it looks scarier than it is. As speedrunners, we know exactly how the terrain is going to fall and just, like, where the flames are and everything. And by moving quickly through it, we don't actually take that much damage, even though we just tend to run through the fire rather than trying to avoid it. On Dread mode, which is, like, the one-hit kill mode, we actually do avoid all the fire, because fire kills you in one hit. Which is kind of weird, because most of the damage over time sources in this game do not kill you instantly on Dread mode. It's only the damage, like, hits. So yeah, you saw that I went into morph ball a little bit there while I was falling. I then tried to respin so that I could go around the ledge, and I messed up a little bit by grabbing the ledge, but that's fine. Just like a little half-second loss. But yeah, enough about Dread mode. We gotta go fight Kraid. And ideally, I'm going to show off a trick called single wall jump. I alluded to it earlier. There's two phases for Kraid. The first one, you just kind of pelt him with damage however you can. The second one, you're down on the ground, and to damage him, you need to go up to this magnet rail at the top of a wall so that you can shoot him in the face. And normally you have to, like, damage him enough. Ooh, that's not good. Messed that up. So we're going to actually take a melee here. I actually could have face tanked through the first one, because it only does 24 damage. Yeah, like I said, this is a bit of a D-Rust run, so I don't remember all of the damage values. I know that I can survive this. There we go. Full heal on the boss door. Pretty much all the boss doors are going to fully heal you. So yeah. So for this first section of Kraid, where it's just lunging at us, it takes half damage, so I'm only going to... Okay, I'm messing it up, but you see the principle of what I'm doing. Basically, you morph, and that stops your horizontal momentum a little bit, and by doing that, you're able to respin back onto the wall. Oh my god. Yeah, if I were playing on anything other than rookie mode, that punch would have killed me. Yeah, not a great Kraid fight, but we survived, which is all you can really ask for sometimes. I mean, I need to be very careful in this next little section, because one hit from anything will kill me. Luckily, I have plenty of missiles, because I got a missile refill towards the end. So this is Diffusion Beam. This is the only reason why we fight Kraid at all. Theoretically, you can skip Kraid. Well, actually, no, that's not true in Glitchless. In Glitchless, we needed to fight Kraid regardless. Never mind. Yeah, can you tell I'm usually an NMG runner? But yeah, so Diffusion Beam allows us to... our shots explode on contact with either enemies or surfaces, and by doing so, it causes us to be able to shoot things that are slightly inside the terrain. Such as those little red blobs that you saw me break there. And that opens up new pathways. Right now we're taking the purple teleportal. That's going to take us back to Dairon. There's going to be another red blob. So if you didn't catch it the first time, you'll be able to keep an eye out this time. There's going to be a red blob within the wall, and I'm going to break it to reveal a new path. And by going this way, we're going to be able to head straight into Dairon, which has a large heated section. Theoretically, we could have gone here right after we got Wide Beam, but like I said, the heated sections deal either exponential or like pseudo-exponential damage. And now here's another little trick with the coyote jump. We do that so that we can wall jump off the left to get over here. And then we're going to do it again to get over here. Yeah. Fun fact, my wife... I tried to show her some speedrun tricks, because she liked this game, pretty much. And she was able to do something called early space pseudo first try, which is a frame perfect and angle perfect trick. She got that first try, but then for the life of her, she could not do those coyote jumps, which I think is kind of funny, but she just thinks I'm crazy, and she tells me that she thinks the coyote jumps are harder. Probably because there's no visual cue really. You just kind of have to feel it. You just have to know the timing. Theoretically, you could look for a position, but it's it moves fast, so whatever. Anyway, we're here in Artaria to get early grapple beam. You would normally get this a little bit later, but by doing that coyote jump thing, we're able to get it now. And this will allow us to move a little bit more efficiently through the areas on our way to... bombs, and also when we're in Barenia, which is the water level. We're going to be moving quite swiftly through that area, thanks to grapple beam. Yeah, so we're heading back to Dairon. It should tell you how efficient getting early grapple is, the fact that we have to go one way, make a transition, and then just turn right around, and it's still worth it. It's a very powerful upgrade. So thankfully the return trip is a little bit less scary than the trip here. Yeah, so there's an Adam room, you see. Normally we would get stopped by Adam and forced to talk to him. But because we skipped the Adam earlier, we can just walk right through. Nice little shortcut enabled to us by the early grapple. And then we're in another zero power room, so we're going to go turn the power on so that we can break a missile tank, or break a missile door. Oh, whoops. So that we can get bombs. And yeah, so it takes a second to activate any switch that you step on, so by shooting that blob while I'm waiting for the switch to activate, I'm able to move a little bit more quickly into the next room. Woo, whoa, 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 hey man, take it easy. And there's the bomb. Bombs allow us to activate these missile launcher, or these little morph ball launchers here. And that's going to allow us to get into Barenia. Like I said earlier, Barenia is the water level, and we'll be making use of the grapple beam here. There is a shortcut we could take here. Down on the bottom, there's a hidden block, but there's a missile in the way there, so unfortunately, we're gonna have to take the long way. It's not a very long detour. Alright, so Brenia, I'm going to pull up a 150 BPM metronome while this transition happens, because there is a trick to skipping flash shift doors. Basically, we're going to morph ball or bomb jump over the trigger for long enough that the door opens, thinking that we're like off of the trigger, and that's going to allow us to skip getting the flash shift, so that we don't have to. Yeah, so we can get through flash shift doors without using flash shift. There's only a couple of these in the game that are like we're required to go through, so thankfully it's not a trick that is necessary for too much. In fact, I think this is the only one in low percent that's actually, like, required. Because the next one that we encounter that's going to be, like, in our way, we can just Shine Spark through it. Which I will explain Shine Sparks when we get to them. Here it comes. Yeah, there we go. Messed that up a little bit there, but we got it in the end, which is what's important. Yeah, normally we would have Flash Shift here. Flash Shift doesn't work underwater, so it's not really like a huge loss. But over the course of the run, it will lose quite a bit of time not having Flash Shift. But in exchange, we get a really fun category. Low percent. And then we're going to do a little technique called C-Boost here. That's a little damage boost that I invented myself. Very proud to be able to use it. And then I'm going to turn off my 150 BPM metronome because that was really driving me crazy. And its usefulness is over. Yeah. So we're now going to the lower part of Dairon, where we're going to be fighting the Speed Booster Emmy. The Speed Booster is going to get a little bit more use in this run than it does normally, just because we don't have Flash Shift, so Speed Booster becomes our like main fast way of going places. In addition, we're also going to be using the single wall jump again, this time to just get up to places that normally you would like wall jump off a wall and then Flash Shift backwards. Instead, we're going to be... Yeah, sorry, I had to concentrate to make sure I didn't accidentally wall jump off of the ledge instead of mantling onto it, because if you mess that up, you can definitely get caught by that enemy. There we go. Messed that up a little bit, but we're fine. That was a little scary because I was on 9 health, but made it. And then this enemy is one of the ones that looks really scary, but it's actually pretty easy, because all you have to do is go on here and then aim for the hole that it's going to come out of. And it moves really slow while it's being shot, so as long as you make sure that you're shooting it right, then it's going to die really quickly. So yeah, Speed Booster. Like I was saying earlier, we're going to be using Shine Spark for a lot of movement. Basically, a Shine Spark is when you have speed with Speed Booster, if you just press down, you'll store a Shine Spark. And then you can use the Shine Spark to like go very, very quickly through the air in one of 8 directions. There's like a little tiny shine spark you can see. And then let's see if I can get the link here. Yeah, there we go. And then we're going to do a ball spark here because it's a little bit faster than watching the wind-up animation. Oh my god. Normally, it's faster to just do what's called an instant spark, but even if you do an instant spark in that particular corridor that we ball sparked up of, if you do any kind of spark at all while not in morph ball form, there's like a really cool little cutscene where the camera zooms in and she's like really close on Samus, and then she does like a really cinematic shine spark up. Like I said, it looks really cool, but unfortunately it's also a little bit slower than the standard wind-up animation, so that's why we do the ball spark. And then here comes the next flash shift door that we're going to need to skip. This one, like I said, we're going to be able to skip with Shine Spark, and it's not only faster, but also easier than doing the Morph Ball Bomb jump. Thankfully. Oh, whoops. Oh my god. Can I get one jump, please? I have... So there's something called gravity ball, basically, when you store downward momentum with the morph ball. It makes it so that you don't gain height next time you're in morph ball form if you're jumping up. So that's really annoying. Anyway, so we got the... Okay. That's fine. That was close. Quite scary, getting that second shine spark there. Yeah, if you've played only other Metroid games, you might notice that the speed booster here has a lot more flexibility. That is a new addition to Dread. You're able to jump while speed boosting, and you'll keep your speed. You're able to morph ball and still keep your speed. You're able to wall jump and still keep your speed. The only things you can't really do is go from morph ball to human in midair, or fall off of a ledge. But even then, there's kind of a nuance there that's kind of hard to explain. But basically, if you morph ball right as you're falling off of a ledge, it'll think of it as instead of you falling off of a ledge, it'll think of you... Where am I going? Darn. That hole that I tried morphing into above the water, we call that the gulf. We call that gulfing in the speedrun community. Some categories go through it 3 times, some categories go through it 2 times. I think some categories only go through it 1 time, but that's like an esoteric category that I don't know about, that I don't know much about. But basically, the joke is if you land in the hole, then you're a true golfer. You got a hole in one. But unfortunately, I got a bogey because I missed it both times. If you missed it 1 time and you get it the other time, that's par. It's not actually that hard. It's just, it's easy to mess up, I guess. Which I guess is the same thing as being hard. Anyway. So we're going to be making our way to Dragaiga now. This is going to be new for me, because I'm used to skipping Dragaiga in low percent. I did not need to Shine Spark there, by the way. Okay, so now we're going to do another Shine Spark store here. just to get through that laser, and then for this laser, we're going to pull it off, do a melee. Forget that there's a grapple door here. But yeah, in No Major Glitches, you skip this boss by doing a pseudo wave, but since we don't have glitches here, we're just gonna go into the arena. There's not really a whole lot to say about this boss. I hit myself into it a little bit, just so that it would, stop it from going, like, hitting its damage gate, basically. Because it has a damage gate where, like, once you do basically all of its health minus 1, it'll close up no matter what, and then you'll have to do a second phase. But by taking damage, you stop it from activating that damage gate, and so you're able to do all of its health in one phase. Coming up next is a quite difficult fight. This is often my first death of the run. This is going to be the Golden Chozo Warrior. It's similar to the Silver Chozo Warrior that we fought in Ferenia with the 2 Shine Sparks, but on this one we're only able to get 1 Shine Spark because there's not enough room in the arena of, like, flat terrain for us to store a second spark. Okay, that went pretty well. I messed up the manipulation, but it went fairly well regardless. Oh god! Oh god! That tongue can kill you. Woo! Yeah, so once again, we're kind of getting to that point where a lot of stuff will kill me. So I'm just trying to be really, really careful. So this is Super Missile. It's not really much of a damage upgrade because it also has a slower fire rate, but because it has because it does more damage per shot, it's like an ammo efficiency upgrade, which is really nice because we don't have any missile upgrades in this category, so in that sense, it's quite a welcome upgrade. Yeah. So we're going to Elune. This serves 2 purposes. We're going to free the X, which are, if you don't know, these little, like, jelly-looking things that float through the air and possess both alive and dead creatures, and also robots. That's going to upgrade the a lot of the enemies in the world. They're going to do more damage. It also means that all of our health and ammo pickups are going to, almost all of them, are going to be X instead of just, like, floating health and ammo. Mostly an aesthetic change, not really something to worry about too much. But the other big thing is that we're going to get the Plasma Beam. The Plasma Beam is, much like the Wide Beam, a tripling of your DPS. And it also allows you to pierce armor on, like, robot enemies. Oh, wait. I forgot, I can take both 2 hits. I mostly ran Dread mode before my most recent break, which is why I don't really know the damage values so well. Yeah. So coming up next is a little speed boost. If I mess it up, I'm gonna die. No two ways about it. Okay. I messed it up, but in kind of a harmless way, so despite what I just said, I'm not gonna die. But yeah, the other thing that Plasma Beam does, besides piercing armor, is that it allows you to hit more than one enemy at a time, because the shots will pierce through enemies. They won't get stopped on enemies. This is the first boss in the game where just pelting it with beams as fast as possible is the optimal damage, so great showcase of why we legalized Turbo. Oh, I thought I fucked that up. But oh right, I'm on Rookie mode. Rookie mode has more lenient timings for everything, basically, as far as counters go. And then we're going to do the biggest time save in the game. Yeah, so what I just did there was what we call an R shot. Basically, the game knows that you're trying to store a charge beam while you're shine sparking, but if you just release Y, it won't release the shot because you're not supposed to be shooting during a shine spark. But if you press R, which is like the missile button, then for some reason the game is like, oh, you're changing weapons, then we should release the charge shot, and it does so. And that allows us to shine spark through doors that otherwise we would normally just bonk on. So, coming up next is going to be a trick called Glitchless Early Ice. This is going to allow us to skip Spin Boost. I forgot to... That was close. I don't have flash shift, so I have to do this a slow way. Yeah, so this is a trick that I haven't practiced in a little bit, so this might take a few tries. Okay, so by doing so... By doing what I just did, we're going to be able to get ice missiles without... Oh my god. I might fall. God, it's been so long. Because normally in minimum items, you don't even get ice missiles. In no major glitches, so this is new to me. Getting through. Okay, alright, we did it. Somehow that was harder than actually getting Glitchless Early Ice. Okay, and I cloak there just in case the enemy is down below me. And we Shine Spark to instantly break the armor, and then we use the Plasma Beam to kill the brain very, very quickly. Pretty similar to the yellow Emmy, the speed Emmy. The ice Emmy is just on the ceiling and you just need to aim properly, and you usually kill him first try. The difference is that you have to get up to that ledge, which in other categories you use Flash Shift, and in this category I just use Shine Spark. I also use Shine Spark in other categories, which is what I prefer, but I think it's faster with Flash Shift. I should pretend like, oh, I only do this because it's low percent. Look at my cool, unique tech. Anyway, so we have Ice Missiles. This is similar to Super Missiles. It's more of a DPS upgrade than a... or it's more of an ammo efficiency upgrade than a DPS upgrade. I don't know why my Shine Spark didn't store there, but now I'm going to have to wait for this thing to lunge so that I can do that. And now we're going to use the Ice Missiles. Oh my god, get in there! To go over here, get to the green TP, and we're going to go get Gravity Suit now. This is early Gravity Suit. This is going to allow us to skip Space Jump, as well as just generally being faster. It's going to involve probably the hardest intended Shine Spark, like Speed Keep, we call them. Like, a Speed Keep is when you do a, like, fancy movement to eventually store and then do a Shine Spark. Glitchless Early Ice, while being glitchless, I don't think is intended, because it just... It's weird, and it also allows you, if you do it, to, like, cause some glitchy doors to appear, if you do things in the wrong order. So, I don't think it's intended. Yeah, so because we have Ice Beam, or Ice Missiles, we're going to be able to do that, break these. Yeah, pretty cool Speed Keep, eh? Those things will kill you. And this is going to be our last little show off of water movement with the bomb, or with the Morph Ball, being how we move a little bit faster. And now we have Gravity Suit, and water is essentially non-existent to us. We're going to be able to move through water as though it were standard terrain. And at this point, we're kind of locked into going exactly one way, and that's going to be into Artaria, where we will discover that since we freed the X, the entire... I almost died there. Or not died, but, like, fell there. The entirety of ZDR is having its energy siphoned. Now, if you recall from earlier, the energy is the energy of the facility is powered by lava flow. So essentially, all of the lava is no longer flowing through the area, and this causes a phenomenon that we call frozen ZDR. Get your guesses in now for why we call it that. This elevator's taking a longer time than I would have expected. Is my game frozen? Nope. Okay. So as you can see, everything is frozen now. I messed up a little bit there, so I'm not going to be able to take the fastest route, but now we're going to fight another boss. Oh, God. I'm gonna go back and store again. Because we're gonna Shine Spark as soon as the fight starts. This is a red Chozo. I don't know why this one's here. It feels kind of like Slapdash, because there's another red Chozo later in the game that gets like a whole like background event teasing its appearance, but this one is just here with no explanation, no teasing, no cutscene, nothing. And now we're going to be doing a pretty fancy Shine Spark, or pretty fancy Speed Keep anyway. I messed that up. So we're going to have to be really careful here. I'm just gonna kill this thing because I'm having a little bit of trouble with the bomb jump. Okay, and then I get it first try after I kill it. That's funny. We shine spark over that missile because it's the only way to get over here. And this is low percent, so we're not picking up any missiles. Okay. Not my best Frozen Artaria, but it was okay. Next up is kind of like the big filter of this run. We're going to be fighting Experiment Z57. We're going to be doing so without jump upgrades, and there are some attacks that are going to be very, very difficult to not die to without jump upgrades. So, if I can get through this first try, then I will be very, very happy. If not, well, like I said, it's the D-Rust run. Oh my god. Okay. So I didn't really care about taking all that damage there because I get the full heal here, and now we're going to launch into the arena. Here we go. Okay. Okay. We're good. We're good. We're good. We're getting this first try. That was a very, very favorable attack pattern. Because even though I messed up, I still was able to get through it first try. Amazing. I am so happy I got that first try. Now the real challenge is not dying to the enemies immediately after. Messed up another speed keep. Oop. Fire doesn't damage us anymore, by the way. It hasn't for a while. So that's actually a Varia suit thing, not a gravity suit thing. So yeah, we're going to be going to blue teleportal. Oh man, I gotta shine spark up there. Yeah, so we're going to be going to blue teleportal. That's going to take us directly to screw attack, and from there, we're going to be able to make our way back to Brenia, which is going to take us back to Gabaran, which is going to take us basically to the end game. The next boss fight is going to be Twin Robos. This is another one that's quite difficult. I labbed it out how to make it 100% consistent like a year and a half ago, but I don't know that I remember everything about it, so this is another one I'm going to have to kind of play by ear. But yeah, first up, screw attack. If you don't know, this basically turns our spin jumps into the strongest attack in the game, except for Shine Spark. Okay, alright. I'm kind of nervous, even though this is just a no reset run. Mostly just because this is a really good run up till now. Like, I've messed up a few things, but, like, for the most part, this has been a really solid run. Fuck! Alright, we gotta reset the checkpoint because we accidentally grabbed the missile tank. I didn't expect this to be a perfect run, so... One reset, that's essentially one death, just in terms of time loss. Not so bad. That's like the safe way to do that. Anyway, here comes the boss fight. Not bad. Yeah, next up we're going to be going to Gabaran, and our next boss fight is going to be Golzuna. Golzuna is a boss that I figured out how to do 100% consistently with Spin Boost, which was the old route of minimum items, hard, and dread. But I never quite got it 100% consistent with no jump upgrades, which is the normal and rookie and now glitchless categories. So, we'll see. Oh, whoops. One, two, three, four, five. Okay, this should be fine. Frick. My hands are slippery. Okay, I'm gonna die. That attack is unavoidable. If you see 4 dots going in a diagonal, then it's gonna be a total AoE. There's no way to avoid it. One, two, three, four, five. Let's go. We got the good pattern. Second try. Oh, I messed it up. So far we've got 1 reset, 1 death. That's not so bad. Cross bombs are a little finicky. You saw me morph and lay some bombs as I was collecting this item. I don't remember all the mechanical logistics of why, but that just is basically to make it so that the cross bomb works properly on your first attempt. Because for some reason, and Arcanox or May, you could probably explain it to you, but for some reason, when you press R and press Y to lay a cross bomb, the game sometimes doesn't know that it's been long enough for you to have laid a cross bomb. And I think it's something like when you lay a regular bomb, that timer like starts. It's like giving it a jump. I don't know. This is all sounding very non-scientific, so I'm just gonna stop talking, I think. But yeah, so this is Hanubia. We're just gonna take a quick trip through it to get into upper Ferenia. This is Glitchless. Remember that it's Glitchless. I was really worried, because sometimes that robot enemy shoots through the door. I was really worried that I morphed too early to dodge its laser, but it turns out it didn't even fire a laser, so I'm fine. Ferenia, for being the endgame, is actually pretty low stakes. You're going to be fighting another pair of twin robos. This one is 1 gold, 1 silver, so it's actually easier than the 2 golds that we fought. And you're able to enter the fight with a Shine Spark. And we're also going to be fighting SQ, which is like a big bug. And then we're going to fight Wave Emmy, which, despite being the last, like, main Emmy fight, is... Well, it's actually pretty scary. I'm not gonna josh ya. Oh wait, hold on. I forgot there's a trick here. Yeah, the single wall jump! And then we're going to be entering the SQ fight with a Shine Spark. Oh, I messed it up. Okay, that's fine. So yeah, this gets us Storm Missile. In No Major Glitches, there's now a way to skip this because we legalized Tilt, which is one of the big reasons why I'm kind of not interested in that category anymore. Not to start drama, it's fine if that's what people want to do, then that's what people want to do. It's just that it's less interesting to me. Let's see if I can remember how to do this. Did it well enough. So this is going to be a funny kill. We're going to just do a Shine Spark. And then do a Screw Attack, and that's just it. It dies in 2 hits. Okay, I tried to do Deep Blue, but unfortunately it didn't work out. There's a funny little trick that I could have shown off, but that's fine. It's actually slower to do it the way that I was trying to do it. Whew! Okay. Yeah. The blue, like I said, the Wave Emmy is kind of scary, but a little bit safer with the Turbo Omega Stream. And now it's pretty much just the last few fights. We're going to be fighting 3 Chozos back to back. 1 red, 1 gold, 1 beaked. Wait, hold on. Let me try that again. We're going to be fighting 3 Chozos back to back. 1 red, 1 gold, 1 raven. Okay. Whew. All in all, this has been a really good run. Just 1 death and 1 reset. I've PB'd with worse. And technically this is a PB pace because this is my first time ever running this category. It's obviously adapted from a previously ran category, but still. Hey, I'm recording something right now. You may notice that my fire rate was quite low during that fight. That's because on Switch 1, For some reason, this room is extremely laggy. Also, fun fact, during that cutscene that I skipped, we killed the power bomb Emmy. We also killed the power bomb central unit. So if this were all bosses, then technically that one fight counts for 3 bosses. There's power bomb. Like I said, this is our last upgrade. The nuances of this power-up are not very wide. Basically, you can't carry the charge between rooms, but you can carry the explosion between rooms. So we're trying to lay bombs like as we're passing through 2 rooms, so that it just explodes a little bit faster and hits a little bit more. And then we're going to see if I can... Got that keep. I think we call that the penthouse keep, or maybe I'm thinking of something else. Anyway, so here is the gold Chozo. This one will be giving us no upgrades. It's just a bodyguard for Ravenbeak, pretty much. Despite having rain in this room, it's actually less laggy than the red Chozo fight. Riddle me that one, Batman. But yeah, so this is going to be our penultimate fight. It was pretty straightforward. Ravenbeak is going to be a little tougher. His first phase is pretty straightforward. We're just going to be pelting him with damage as quickly as possible. We'll use cross bombs if we can, because that does extra damage to Ravenbeak during phase 1. For phase 2, we're going to be doing some particular movement to manipulate his attack patterns. Not really his attack patterns exactly, but the position of one particular attack. Basically, we want to avoid taking as much damage as possible, because we have so little. And so... we're going to try to make it so that one of his attacks, basically, he has no chance of doing damage to us. Let's see if I can get this speed keep. Nope. Messed it up. Alright. Here we go! Final boss time. I'll call out the attack that we're manipulating when we get to it. So we're going to be walking underneath him. We're going to go a little bit past where the laser was in case he does the next attack. We're going to go a little bit past the laser was in case it's his next attack. We're going to stand a little bit past the edge of his wings. There we go. That's the attack we're trying to manipulate. Basically, by doing it, we don't take any tick damage at all. You'll see that basic movement that I just did in a lot of fights, or in like a lot of categories, but the particular movement that I'm doing makes it so that we take no damage at all, not even a single tick, because if the fight goes on for long enough, then those ticks really add up. Alright, first try Ravenbeak. I'm very happy with that. The chances of us dying during escape are essentially 0. So this is going to be a 1 death first try minimum items run. Like I said, I'm very, very happy with that. There's this sort of pseudo-boss here. It's basically a cutscene. We're just waiting for him to get close enough. Because basically, the way that you beat this boss is he needs to be a certain amount of close to you, he needs to have taken a certain amount of damage, and he needs to be taking damage on a certain frame. The third thing there gets taken care of by the fact that the Hyper Beam is a constant stream of damage, but the first two means that we just try to, like, delay it a little bit so that he hits that damage threshold when he's close to us, because if he hits it earlier, he moves slower while you're hitting him, so... Oh my god. There we go. Now, normally during the escape sequence, we like to call out that you don't have access to your upgrades. Or, like, your Aeon upgrades, at least. But the only relevant upgrade is Flash Shift, which we didn't get anyway, so... We also didn't get Pulse Radar, so really it's just that we can't use, Cloak. We can't use Phantom Cloak. Oh no. Big Shine Spar. Love that Shine Spar. And time. That is a 127. Not bad at all. My rookie mode, no major glitches PB is a 126, I believe, so getting a 127 first try, I am very, very happy with. And then let's just take a look at the stats. Yeah, so 2 power bombs, that's the minimum. 30 missiles on rookie mode, that's the minimum. 99 energy, that's the minimum. 0% items collected, 1 death. Yeah, I hope that you will consider me for your marathon if you enjoyed watching this run. If you are not somebody in charge of adding runs to a marathon, then I hope that you enjoyed this commentated run, despite my ramblings. Bye!